Good evening. I'd like to call the City of Menasha Administration Committee meeting to order. Clerk Galiazzi, could we have roll call, please? I'm sorry. Wow, that's an old habit. Oh, 7 years. That's a habit. Sorry. This is my first admin meeting with our new clerk. Clerk Krautkramer, could we have the roll call, please?
Alderman Tom Grady. Alderman Ted Grady. Alderman Rapella. Alderman Nichols.
Here.
Alderman Taylor. Alderman Sevenick. Alderman Langdon. Alderman Schmidt.
Thank you, Clerk Krautkramer. Just so everyone is aware, we are starting this meeting on camera, and then we'll recess to the, or we'll go to closed session, I guess, and then our next committee meeting. Minutes to approve from the Administration Committee meeting of May 18th, 2020. Is there a motion? Alderman Rapella, let me find your microphone.
Oh, thank you. I'll make the motion to approve the minutes for the Administration Committee 5/18 of 2020.
We have a motion from Alderman Rapella and a second from Alderman Ted Grady to approve the minutes from May 18th. Are there any questions or discussion? Alderman Rapella, did you have anything? Nope. Seeing no discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Nay. Minutes are approved. We do have one discussion and possible action item this evening. It is regarding the Bryn redevelopment project, and what has been provided in the packet is a draft resolution for a budget adjustment, and some property acquisition is also listed on the agenda as it relates to the project. So Director Schrader, if you could provide a general overview and update, that would be much appreciated.
Yeah, certainly. And I think it will maybe a joint effort across the front table here. Certainly, what we're looking at is a draft budget resolution approving a 2020 CIP budget adjustment for the purpose of providing an increase in the funding for the stormwater utility to construct the regional stormwater detention this year, or at least start the construction. So as part of the development agreement that was approved through RF Development Group LLC, known as, I guess, the Bryn Development Project, we did look at the regional stormwater and our 25-year stormwater action plan that was submitted and approved both by the council and the DNR. And part of that was a regional underground stormwater detention facility. So what we tasked with the development agreement was actually to look at the areas provided for the parking area and to see if we couldn't meet our obligations with an underground detention facility to meet the needs of that development, as well as set the tone for all future development moving forward. So what we have, we did, again, work with a consultant to look at the design to meet our needs. And we did bring forward a budget resolution request in the amount of $940,600 to the budget. And again, that would be to construct a regional stormwater detention facility. So the pond, as well as the proposed basin, including the 19.2 acres, is included with that resolution. Also included in your packet is the 25, or the, what year was that approved? 2016?
2018.
2018 Stormwater Action Plan. So again, that plan did not call for this construction for until I believe 2030, some years out, but basically looked at, okay, how do we serve the need and requirement by the DNR, and the best option was to do an underground detention facility there. Oftentimes, the underground detention allows us to still use the space above for parking. You can put structures over these. It's usually not recommended, and just due to potential future cleaning issues, easy access and things of that nature. But what we did was we looked at the need to remove the solids and the phosphorus in this detention basin, but then to redesign it to fit the Brim project. So it not only allows us to redevelop the Brim project, but also allows us any future redevelopment in this basin, as well as potentially if we look at piping in the future. So again, that originally estimated cost was $2.5 million on this underground detention facility, and the proposed amount, which does include some acquisition, is $940,600 in 2020, based upon the current design and the current budgeting. We are looking at this project, if approved, it would move forward to common council for final approval, and then we would look to have the project bid out and be brought back forward through the Board of Public Works. So again, the dollar amount might change slightly, and then I guess if that's all right, I
have a question.
Okay.
You mentioned the anticipated cost of over $2 million and the current project amount coming in around $900,000. Based on that favorable difference, why are we looking at a budget adjustment?
So the budget adjustment is just because when we set the budget in November, this development agreement and this project was not there yet. So again, we approved the development agreement in February of 2017. So we did not anticipate doing this project, but with the Brim project moving forward, that development, that escalated the need for this project to kind of come simultaneously, and for us to look at it. And that's kind of why I did mention the team. Corey Gordon and Jennifer Sassman have done, as well as Adam Alex, have done a lot of research on the existing fund of the stormwater, and then how that fits into the overall projection.
And I'm not sure that you mentioned the funds would be coming from the stormwater utility fund as part of this budget adjustment. And so in anticipation of this moving forward to council, at the next meeting, I would really like some sort of update on the stormwater utility fund, current balance, anticipated revenues, what this project does to the fund, and where that leaves us for next year. That would be helpful in evaluating this decision. Are there any questions from the committee just about the budget adjustment resolution? If there aren't any, then I'll ask Director Schrader to provide a brief explanation on the property acquisition part of this before we may move into closed session. Yes. Alderman Sevenik?
Thank you. Regardless of the Bryn project, this still has to be done, period. So, just so everyone understands that. I'm a little confused with this map. And then, I've always been the potential stormwater BMP report that we have. That's the one I've always understood. What is this? I don't understand this Bryn Pond thing.
Yep, so what you see in the packet, the potential stormwater BMP retrofit, where it's kind of a square, the McMahon, I guess they're both McMahon. The more original area that you're referring to, Stan, that was part of the stormwater action plan. So that's just here's a general idea where something might fit.
This, the bigger map.
Nope,
Oh.
the small.
So this will actually be underneath the project?
It'd be
I
underneath
thought we were only gonna keep it under the parking lot.
It's underneath the parking lot. So what you're seeing with this configuration in the bigger map that you're holding up with the green,
Yeah,
that is the actual configuration of how that public thoroughfare comes down there.
So it doesn't go underneath the building at all?
It does not go
Okay,
underneath the
that-
building. It
we're
goes
done.
slightly outside of the
Okay.
roadway.
It just doesn't look that way on the map here.
Correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions about that part? All right, Director Schrader, if you could briefly touch on the property acquisition piece of this?
Yeah, certainly. So also included within, I guess, the development agreement were two private properties, 13 Main Street as well as 7 Taco, that laid out that, again, needed control of the properties in order to do this project. Early on, again, we had looked at needing an easement for the public thoroughfare way as well as the stormwater, and we have been talking, our city staff has been working with the developer and the timing of that public thoroughfare easement and the stormwater easement, and have had some conversations with the private property owner of 13 Main Street. And so we wanted to bring that forward for common council discussion, to basically deliberate or negotiate the potential purchase of public properties, and how that fits with the overall project.
And if my memory serves correct, our conversation about this agenda, you stated that this property acquisition portion is included in that budget adjustment?
Yes, so we
Amount?
did allow for some property acquisition amount to be included with the budget resolution. We again are attempted to be conservatively high, but again, if the funds aren't used, obviously they will remain on the budget.
Thank you for that. Any questions about that piece? Great. If the committee wishes, I'll accept a motion to adjourn into closed session. Whoever chooses to make that motion does need to read everything in item number 2. Once we take a roll call vote, Dan will wrap up his video, and then we will proceed. Alderman Rapella.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to adjourn into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.851E, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investigating of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. Property acquisition, 13 Main Street.
Is there a second? Second. We have a motion by Alderman Rapella and a second by Alderman Severnick to move into closed session. Clerk Kraut-Kramer will take a roll call vote, please. Do we need voice vote, Attorney Captain, or can it go like this?
It can be like this, yes.
Okay, great.
As long as each person registers what their vote is.
Thank you.
Motion carries 8-0.
Thank you.